Yeah, thank you, Chrissy, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for us to be here. And I'm Muchtazar. I'm representing Nickel Industries Limited. We are one of the 10 largest nickel producers globally. And today, actually, our managing director, he was here last year, and we thought that this year we want to emphasize more on our sustainability approach in our operations. So that's why I'm here as the head of sustainability. And if you have any questions later, you can send me an email. It's also available, I think, in the conference webpage. And Nickel Industries Limited is an Australian public company. We are one of the ASX 200, and we were listed since 2018. So I think I couldn't agree more with the previous speakers that emphasize the energy transitions is only possible to be made if the raw materials, the ingredients, the transition metals are coming from the responsible and sustainable sources, and that's where we stand. So we started with the class 2 nickel production, the nickel pig iron, but now we are also embarking on a new journey, I think, to develop what we call as the third generation HPAL, the Excelsior nickel cobalt, that will emit much lower carbon emissions, I think, than the conventional RKEF productions. And we operate in the two largest nickel processing hubs in the world. So we have 4 smelters at the moment. 3 of them are operating in IMIP, located in the Sulawesi Island, or we can call it the BK Island. And then we have one smelter comprising of 4 production lines at the Indonesia Weda Bay Industrial Park, or IWIP, and with the production capacity of more than 100,000 tons of nickel metal per annum. Then in 2023, we also invested in the Huayou Nickel Cobalt project with the ownership of 10%, and then now we are working with the Shanghai Decent and also with the United Tractors, one of the largest Indonesian company, to develop the new HPAL that I will touch on later. So I think it was, we shared the view that Indonesia to the global nickel producers is very important. So we see Indonesia as important as Western Australia in terms of iron ore, and as important as Middle East in terms of oil and gas. So in terms of nickel, I think Indonesia produces more than half of the global world production. And here on the screen you can see that the global EV manufacturers are investing in the country as well. So not just for the nickel refinery, but also for the upstream process. And if we see on the timeline, I think I don't want to go into the details here, but you can see that there are many Western, many global companies have supported the development of nickel downstreaming in Indonesia. I think here just to mention some, but feel like Eramet up until Ford. So yeah, I think it shows that the global companies are putting their money, putting their investment to Indonesia, and this is something that is important, I think, for our company trajectory as well. So be sure that Indonesian government support these investment projects, and yeah, I think they will provide necessary support to ensure that the downstreaming process will go over the line. And for us, Nickel Industries Limited, so we do try to reduce our carbon footprint. I will explain more later, but we also consider the social and the governance aspects as important to the environmental aspects, and that's why we focus on the 3 pillars: the environmental stewardship, the social responsibility, and then also the economic development. So in terms of carbon footprint aspect, I think we also work to develop the largest solar power plant in Indonesia with the capacity of more than 200 megawatts peak, and I will explain in the next slide. And furthermore, in the 2023 United Nations Climate Change Conference, or simply called COP28, we announced our net zero commitment by 2050, so it's the same as the Australian government. And we also aim to reduce half of our carbon intensity by 2035. So yeah, considering that our company operates in Indonesia, I think it's quite significant because Indonesian government commit to achieve net zero by 2060. So it means that we have to be pioneer in our field, and we have to achieve it 10 years faster than our peers in the Indonesia, the country where we operate. And yeah, I think besides the besides the energy, the climate change, so we have started to implement renewable energy solutions in our operations. We have the solar plant that power our Heng Jaya mine with the capacity of 200 megawatts kilowatt peak, and it reduces our diesel consumptions. Approximately in its 25 life cycle, it will save up to 31 million liters of gasoline. So it's very significant, I think, in terms of the environment and also the cost. And then for the water, I think we are delighted to be named as one of the few nickel companies in Indonesia that can meet the environmental standards set by the government. And for the biodiversity, so since 2019 we have rehabilitated almost 2,000 hectares in Sulawesi with more than 2 million trees planted. So yeah, it will help, I think, to restore the biodiversity as well as to reduce our overall group emission. And yeah, once the Excelsior Nickel Cobalt project is completed, then yeah, it will take nickel industries, I think, closer to the top 5 nickel producers globally, closer to Vale. And I think, yeah, again, since we are relatively a young company, so the company itself was listed in 2018 in the ASX, but yeah, we were established in 2007. But yeah, overall, I think we are still relatively young, and we are delighted, I think, to be one of the 10 largest nickel producers globally, which show our remarkable growth, I think, over the past 15 or 16 years. And then our third generation HPAL, which is expected to be commissioned by the October 2025, will have the carbon footprint lower than 10 tons of carbon dioxide per tons of nickel metal equivalent. And this is quite significant because, as you see, that the traditional RKF operations, I think it can emit more than 50 tons of carbon dioxide per ton of nickel, and then now we want to reduce more than 80% by introducing this third generation HPAL. So it will help us as well to achieve our carbon emission target in 2035 and 2050. And yeah, in our operations, we try to be efficient with our energy usage, because when we save the energy, we save the planet, and also we save the cost as well, so we don't want to lose it as well. So here we recover the heat generated in our kiln, and then we, together with Shanghai Decent, with Xingsan, we have launched the future energy projects back in 2021. And we also introduced the bio-based fuels in our operations that will have lower carbon footprint. And in October 2023, we worked with the Indonesian company called Cessna to develop the largest solar power plant in Indonesia, in which nickel industries will be the sole off-taker of this project. So we don't require any further investment. But yeah, after the solar power is commissioned, it is expected that we can reduce our emission footprint, I think, around 20% for our Heng Jaya nickel industry. And then it will also help again to achieve our carbon commitment in 2035 and 2050. And yeah, I think we, as I emphasized in the beginning, we are also concerned about the social contribution to the society. So I think the previous speakers have done great jobs, I think, to introduce this in their presentations, and we also do the same. So we focus on various aspects in the community development, in education, in health, and we are in the process of developing a corporate foundations as a commitment from nickel industries to the community. And earlier this year, we announced the university scholarship program. So yeah, if you see that now the labor, the manpower for our operations, I think in Sulawesi are mostly come from Java. Java is the let's say the most dominant island in Indonesia with better infrastructure, with better education. So we want in the future that many of our workforce to come from the surrounding, from the Sulawesi island, and that's why we work with the top university in Sulawesi to provide scholarship for the students around our operational areas to study in mining engineering, environmental engineering, and metallurgical engineering up to 4 years. So hopefully they will become our role models in the communities and also becomes our future talents for the company. And in terms of governance, I think we comply with the requirements from the Australian government, from the Indonesian government. So we are committed to prevent the corruptions and bribery in our operations, and also we report our anti-modern slavery statement in annual basis in accordance with the regulations in Australia, and we provide equal opportunity to our employees. So we don't differentiate them based on the genders, but yeah, we remunerate them based on their achievements, based on their performance. And in 2022, so I think this will have to be updated later, but in 2022, we employed more than 4,000 people across our operations. So this is quite significant. And if I may recall a little bit, so during the COVID period, actually many of the provinces in Indonesia experienced negative growth, but for Central Sulawesi and also North Maluku, where we operate, the growth remained positive, and yeah, it was supported by the nickel industry in the area. And here, I think, in the past 2 minutes, I want to emphasize more on the PROPER. So I believe many of you maybe are unfamiliar with, but PROPER is the official environmental rating from the Indonesian government. And yeah, in the past 2 years, we were delighted because Hengjaya Mine, our nickel mining site, has received green ratings for 2 consecutive years. In 2022, there were just 2 companies that achieved this. It was just us and Vale, and as we all know that Vale Indonesia has operated for more than 50 years, so we are proud to be on the same level with them. And moreover, in 2023, our ESG score, according to the Indonesian government, was the highest one amongst the nickel sectors, and the 3rd for the overall mineral sector, including tin and also iron ore and etc. And this is just some of the achievements that we have achieved in the past 2 years. So last year we were nominated as the company with the most promising transitions at the GRIT Award and ESG World Summit in Bangkok, and we were also named as the most sustainable nickel company by Trenasia. It's a local media in Indonesia, but yeah, we were compared with other producers, so we were delighted with that. And for the ratings, you can see on the slide, but yeah, we received the good rating from the MSCI and SP. And last but not least, here you can check more information about our sustainability performance in the sustainability report in our website. So I think that's all. Thank you very much for listening.